Hey, what is up guys? It's Lobomon for Game here, and today we got another featured match between Bond of Friendship versus Dandevimon with Beelstar Splash Pack. So just a real quick input, this is my first time taking this deck to locals tourney, so this is actually going to be interesting. We're going to go ahead and start things off with me going first. I did evolve into my BT6 Gabumon, then I play the promo Gabumon, revealing the top 5, which is the Davis and a Matt. I was debating which one I wanted to grab first, but I went ahead and prioritized Matt first since that's needed the most, which puts my opponent to 3. He's going to go ahead and Digivolve in his Raising, then he Digivolves into a Kinkakumon, putting him to 1, then plays a 2-drop, putting me to 1. And now I'm forced to play around that memory choke. I'm gonna go ahead and promote my Gabumon here, then play a Spark. I do have the Mat in hand, but I'm not gonna play it just yet because the cost is reduced right now. And then I'm gonna go ahead and swing with both Gabumons. Both of them die. Then I hard play Mat for 3, putting him at 1. He's gonna go ahead and promote. Thinking with what he wants to do over here, he's gonna go ahead and Digivolve into a Lady Devimon, putting me to 2. He's going to go ahead and draw 2, discard 2 after drawing 1 from Digivolving. He's going to go ahead and discard the Have a Bullet Showering, and I'm not sure what was his second discard. He was debating over here, but he went ahead and dropped the Fly Bullet. Now it's my turn again. I draw. I'm going to go ahead and Digivolve into another BT6 Gabumon. Then I hard played the Strawbymon, putting him to 1 again, adding that Mat. Luckily I was able to hit a Tamer. Unfortunately I whiffed on the Hybrid, but it is what it is. My opponent's gonna go ahead and Digivolve into Raising, then he's gonna go ahead and swing with Lady Devimon. So a lot of triggers are going to happen at once, so he's gonna go ahead and choose how to resolve his effects in order. Then going to resolve into King Kakumon's ESS skill. Going to pop the Strawberry by discarding a card. Checking for 1 security, unfortunately it lives, and then he Digivolves his cost 2 into a blocker, putting him to 0. Then he's gonna go ahead and put me to 2 by Digivolving and his Raising again. It's my turn. I went ahead and promote, then gain 1 memory by Madashida's effect and drawing 1. Thinking if I wanted to go ahead and start playing Gabumon, because he does have a threatening board. And thinking how I want to swing into his Lady Devimon first, bottom decking his blocker, then restanding by Inheritable. But the only thing was, I wanted to make sure it didn't have any retaliation, so I went ahead and continued the play and so forth. Gonna go ahead and continue my second attack into security, restanding once more since it's the fully built Gabumon. Does survive into the second swing, going in for the final swing. And now I'm actually in an awkward position just because he does have 1 more security, and now I'm thinking to myself that I probably rushed into my Gabumon too early just because of the fact that he's going to die. I do have 2 security checks left though, so I'm debating what I wanted to go ahead and play over here, but it looks like I'm just gonna go ahead and play the Jabu Gabu, putting him to 3, which is actually a bad spot for me. He's gonna go ahead and promote, and then he's gonna chip off my security with that Digimon. It's gonna go ahead and live though since Midoki Beamon is only 2,000. So during this game, I'm actually not too sure why, but I had the mentality of relying on my security to have Tamers come out or have options to clear out their board, which any Digimon player should actually be really doing, unless you play security control of course. And now I'm gonna go ahead and get a taste of my own medicine just because he's gonna memory choke me back to 1. I can't go wide, he has a blocker, he has 1 more check, so technically I have to swing 3 times. Only have 1 Digimon on board. I needed to find a way to control tempo on my end, so I went ahead and played a Spark, putting me to 2, and I played the Rattlestar, bouncing back his Digimon. However, I believe the misplay there was not bouncing back his blocker, but I think it still would have been the same result because he's just going to go ahead and play a 3 cost on the board after Digivolving and Raising. Just did a little small cut there, nothing really changed. He went ahead and played the 3 cost Impmon, putting him to 0. Then he's going to go ahead and Digivolve into another blocker after resolving the effect of Impmon, putting me back to 1. I'm going to go ahead and promote, gain a memory, draw off 1. And looking at it, maybe I should have kept the Hammer Spark. I could have gone to Bond next turn, so that was my misplay. Looking through my hand, I don't have any blockers, and there's nothing much I can really do at this point, so I'm just going to go ahead and hard play a Strabi and hope for the best in my security. Not realizing that he had 1 in Raising. I'm going to go ahead and hit those 2, but it doesn't really matter at this point because he's just going to promote and swing, and then that's going to be game because security had nothing there. There we go. Now we go to game 2. Now going into game 2, I'm going to decide to go ahead and go first. Everything checks out. So he accidentally looked at his top 5 first, which is okay. He's just going to add that to hand instead since he already looked at it, and he's going to go ahead and blind the 5 from the next one. I Digivolved my raising into the starter deck 8 Gabumon, and then I played Jabu Gabu, putting him at 3 again. He's going to go ahead and Digivolve with his cost 2 Rookie and Raising. Then he's going to go ahead and go into a cost 2 Devimon with Retaliation. Then he's going to Digivolve one last time into Skullgreymon, putting me back at 2, which is good on my end. I'm going to go ahead and promote, swing a Gabu, dies in the first check, swing a Jabu Gabu, hits into Trump Sword, and oh man, how lucky did I get away with that. If Trump Sword was the first check, I would have lost my second Gabu without any value. And from there, I'm going to go ahead and play Promo Gabu, top checking 5. I did bottom deck most of my hybrids, but I was able to add Davis so I can have memory next turn. He's going to promote his Skullgreymon. I'm going to swing into my Gabumon that's rested. He's going to go ahead and resolve all the trigger effects. And now he's going to play a 4-drop Rookie, which puts me back to 3, which is really good on my end. I'm going to go ahead and hatch, Digivolve. Debating if I wanted to play Davis first or swing, because if I play Davis, I'm just going to end my turn. But I'm actually going to go ahead and take advantage and swing right now, get that early rush. Swing, dies in security check, then I'm going to go ahead and play the Davis, top 3. Debating if I wanted to Jabu Gabu, but I'm going to add Strabi because Strabi needs to go ahead and search for the other hybrids that I bottom decked. He went ahead and Digivolved in his Raising, then he's going to swing with Skullgreymon. Skullgreymon's going to trigger all the ESS, resolving everything. He does hit into a Hammer Spark, putting me to 1, then Davis resets me back to 3. Now I have the advantage of tempo, and I'm going to go ahead and drop down a Strabi, start searching. I do add the Kandogururu, which is not the one I wanted, but it's better than nothing. And here comes the Howling Memory Boost, trashing those 2 ESS bottom of Skullgreymon, and then I choose his Elecmon to go ahead and get stunned. He wanted to verify what it did, so I just went ahead and just showed him the card. It doesn't attack or battle until the end of his turn. So he's going to go ahead and swing with a Skullgreymon once more, checking into my security, resolving that last ESS skill that he has under it. Debating what he wanted to go ahead and drop, but he's going to go ahead and drop his level 4 Devimon. And oh man, hits into another Hammer Spark, putting himself to 1. And now he's limited to what he can do because it looks like he can only play like 2 cost 1 blockers or 1 cost 2 blocker. Really depends what he has on his hand. And we were having a little discussion over here. He was mentioning that if it was something else, it would have been fine. But because it was a Hammer Spark, it kind of ruined his tempo. And now he's forced to play more blocker. So he's going to go ahead and Digivolve into his cost 1 blocker. Debating if he wants to swing with Gabumon. But he's looking through his hand, making sure what he needed to do next in order to not lose next turn. He does Digivolve into a Gingakumon. But my Davis went ahead and just reset me back to 3. And then I apologize, I'm just going to do a small cut over here again. I had to really think what I wanted to do next. But I'm going to go ahead and hard play my Gabumon. Then use my Howling Memory Boost. Then play the Madoki Betamon, putting him to 1 since he still has no Memory Tamers on board. And I just decided to go wide because he does have 3 attacks. One of them being a blocker, so he's going to have to lose memory if he does swing. Swings with Ginkakumon, resolving all the ESS. Gonna go ahead and do his discard first. Discards the Null Bone, draws out the effect. Then he's gonna swing into security, hitting a Matt Ashita, which sets me up for next turn for Bond. He's gonna go ahead and swing with his Skullgreymon next, resolving that ESS once more, discarding Dandevimon, swings into a Gabumon, which means that Skullgreymon also lives. Now it's telling me that I have to go into Gabumon next turn so I can finish a game or I lose next turn after I pass. He hard plays a cost 6 blocker, putting me at a 5. I'm going to go and promote my Gabumon, gain the extra memory and draw. Then I'm going to go ahead and go into Gabumon, and that's a slight misplay unfortunately on my end just because I was actually supposed to be at 3 at this point, not at 4 memory. But it doesn't really matter because I actually do have Hammer Sparks in my hand. So I'm going to go ahead and do its first swing, bottom decking. Going to go ahead and continue, asking him which one had retaliation, so I'm making sure that I'm not swinging to Skullgreymon. And at this point, I was a little bit concerned with his last 2 security checks just because I might swing into a Happy Bullet Showering, which will screw all my 2Ks on the board. And so I decided that I'm going to go ahead and Digivolve into a blocker first, putting me to 2, which actually should have been at 1, but again, I do have Hammer Spark. I'm going to swing into security with Gabumon, Swinging once more, bottom decking both. I'm not too sure why he put that in trash, but that's going to be game from there, and we're going to go in game 3. So going into game 3, my opponent's going to actually go ahead and go first. Everything checks out again. Oh, he drew too much. I'm not too sure what happened there, but it's fine. He Digivolves into his Gabumon and Raising. Then he's going to go ahead and put me at 2 by Digivolving into a Kinkakumon. I do have my BT6 Gabumon ready, so I'm going to Digivolve into that. And because I am at 2, I can Memory Choke him to 1. So I'm going to play the Jabu Gabu once more. That's the highlight of the game, just really putting him at 1 with Jabu Gabu. He's going to go ahead and promote, and he's going to swing into Security, resolving all the trigger effects first. Discards Dandevimon, then checks into another Hammer Spark. Hammer Spark is just crazy when it's the first check in Security, especially when you Memory Choke them. So I'm just going to go ahead and swing with Gabumon. Dies of course in Security. Then I'm going to go ahead and play Howling Memory Boost, putting him at 2, but I'm going to go ahead and stun his Kinkakumon. So he's going to go ahead and Digivolve in Raising, and I believe he's going to play another one of the same card on the board, going wide, which is not a bad play because it actually Memory Chokes me back to 1. However, I do have the Howling Memory Boost, so I'm going to go ahead and promote. I'm going to swing with Gabumon first, getting the ESS skill. Drawing off of that. Then dice from Security check. I'm going to boost myself up to 3. Then I'm going to go and play the Davis, putting him at 1 again. I do have quite a few choices here to grab. Debating if I wanted to get the Kendo first, but I'm going to actually just add the Grizzly just in case this game gets prolonged and I need blockers for late game. He's going to go ahead and promote. Then he's going to go ahead and attempt to swing. Hits into another Hammer Spark, resetting me back to 3 again. How unfortunate. I'm going to go ahead and Digivolve into a Jabu Gabu over here. I don't have the BT6 in my hand. And then after that, I'm going to play the Madashiro, putting him at 0. I do not have the Bond target in my hand yet. So what I'm actually going to do from here is play the Memory Boost. Top checking 4, and I did land the Gabu Bond. So I'm ready for next turn. He's going to go ahead and hatch. I don't think he's going to Digivolve. Oh, I take that back. He actually does Digivolve. He's going to go and go wide, swing. Dice to the first check, swings. No, that one actually lives. Swings, hits a Gabumon, dies in the third check. And I was kind of scared over here because I'm not too sure if there was a way for him to out this and just go for game. He's not too sure what he can do from here. He wanted to go ahead and double check my Bond target just so he can see what effects it's doing when it attacks, just to verify any rulings. Then just did a slight cut over here, and he's just going to hard play a blocker, putting me to 3. I promote, gain the memory off Madashira, then I'm going to go ahead and boost myself to 6, putting me back to 3. And then I can only swing twice with Gabumon over here because it's not the BT6 Gabumon, so I don't have that extra swing. I'm going to go ahead and play with Tempo. I'm going to bottom deck his blocker, swinging to Security. Swing once more, bottom decking his other Digimon. And then he has a Digimon in his Raising. So I have to set up a blocker next turn because I will die if I don't. I go ahead and go into Lobomon, play Hammer Spark, putting me back to 2. Swing into Security, hitting the Happy Showering Bullet, which is good because it's just a Lobomon that's gonna die. Then I hard played a blocker, putting him at 3, which is kind of lethal because if you can play something with Rush for the cost of 4, I'm dead. So he's gonna promote, and then he's gonna Digivolve into a Devimon with the Retaliation. He's gonna go ahead and swing, of course. I'm gonna go ahead and block, which trades off my blocker. The Inheritable is gonna go ahead and bring out a Dandevimon from his trash back on the board. Thankfully, it doesn't have Rush. And we're finally gonna see the Beelstar in action, putting me to 10 by playing the Happy Bullet Showering, which is gonna go ahead and kill off my Gabumon, and now I'm in trouble over here. Digivolve, looking through my hand, what can I do with 10 memory? I need a hybrid. He has no blocker, so I can go in for game. However, I need a dig for my Lobomons. I'm gonna play the Strawby for 3. Gonna top 3 check, missing the first 3. Then I'm going to go ahead and play the second Strawby, putting me to 4, looking for the top 3 again, and I do hit the Lobomon, and that's Lobomon for game, guys. Thank you guys so much. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.